from the back end, please.
Okay. Okay. So thank you again for joining, and thank you for your time. So towards the just as well, I was approaching April, or just as April hit, I thought I really would like to share some things that has helped me on my journey and pass on a few things to the women in my community, especially younger women who are coming along in their journey of motherhood. And possibly because I have met a lot of mothers who have shared their struggles with me, and I find that we are all the same. And I think that what can help one can help all. And so I wanted to just use this opportunity to share a few things that I have learned along the way, and possibly answer some of the questions that might be bugging your heart, and also use this as an opportunity for someone to maybe answer your question, because we are meant to be a community of people who can help one another. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'll share like a mini presentation that I have. So I'm sharing now. Okay, so if you can see my screen, please can you give a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Questions mom ask. There's this very bold blue, orange, PowerPoint. Questions mom ask. Can you see it? You can just give a thumbs up. Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. Thank you. When I heard there's someone here from Enugu, I thought, oh, wow, okay. And then this morning, someone reached out to me and said, I would like to join your program because it was shared in a platform that I belong to, aspiring moms and young moms and aspiring moms. And I looked at the picture of the profile and I thought, wait a minute. The picture on this profile is my nephew and his wife that I haven't met. Okay, my cousin just told us that her son was getting married, and then shared the pictures. And I thought, I've seen this picture before. And so I said to her, so I sent her the link to join the WhatsApp group, and then I said to her, do you happen to know the young man in your profile picture? And she said yes. I said, would that be your husband? And she said yes. And I thought, no, this is beyond coincidence. And I was really so excited to have her join us here today. And like a lot of you who are here, like I was just getting messages, from people. I'm joining in. I can't wait to see you in the evening. And I'm thankful that you're here. So what exactly do we want to share today? There are there's a friend of mine that is here as well. I don't know, Chika, are you here? Is Chika here? I'm not sure. Okay, when she comes on, she's going to let me know. Because you know that at the heart of what I do is your child. I want your child to do well. And anything I see that will make children do well, I'm all for it. So Chika is here, and I'm not going to preempt what she's going to share with us, but she is amazing. So we want to be able to celebrate your uniqueness as a mom. We want to be able to assure you that you're not alone. no matter what your struggle is as a mom, you're not alone. I want you to be able to learn balance. We all need it. Even yours sincerely that is talking right now, we all need balance, you know, because recently I broke down and I knew it was because I wasn't balancing things out well. We want to also be able to share God's expectations for moms, to just let you know that you are not ordinary. You are not ordinary. That there's something, you know, special about who you are and what God has in store for you. I want to be able to share how you can communicate better with your child. And then something that a lot of us struggle with, we want to actually just say to ourselves, hey, lady, mommy, super mom, it's okay to be vulnerable. Okay, let your child see that you're not strong all the time. So these are the goals of the seminar and or the webinar. And if we're able to achieve all of this, I'll be a happy person at the end of today. So here's a quote to set the scene. It says, life, but I didn't see who said this. It was something I saw on the internet and I said, yes, exactly. Life doesn't come with a manual. It comes with a mother. And I looked at it, I thought, oh, wow, this is actually so true. And recently my daughter wrote me a very emotional letter on my birthday. And she told me all the things, I mean, some of the things I say that are funny and some of the things that are not funny and some of the things that, you know, I have done to make her cry and things that I have done to make her happy and all of that, and how sometimes when she is so sure that she's got everything under control, I just have this magic way of making things better and rescuing the situation. So it's an opportunity that God has given to all of us as mothers. And it's something that I do not want us to take for granted. Excuse me, please. So for the longest time in my life, every time I hear about the story of the Proverbs 31 woman, and everybody is singing about, oh, the virtuous woman, the virtuous woman, the virtuous woman this, the virtuous woman that, how the virtuous woman does this and all of that. And that is not even the biggest message I get from that part of the scripture. My message from that scripture is, these are the words of King Lemuel that his mother taught him. For the longest time, I looked at that scripture, I meditated on it, and I thought, wow, this guy who wrote this was already a king when he wrote that. But guess what? He wasn't a king when his mother taught him that saying. So it was King Lemuel that wrote all of the fantastic thing about the Proverbs 20, the 31 woman. But guess what? He was taught it by his mom. And even as a king, he did not forget. And so, mom, you have no idea the kind of power that God has put to you, to put in you for your child. And today, we want to look at some of those questions. Some people were able to send in some questions, and I'm going to start with them. And if we have time, I will now talk about some of the other things that I wanted to talk about. And if not, I don't know, if the opportunity comes again, maybe we'll have a version 2 of this if it's necessary. This truly, I just want you to believe me that if it was left for me, I would have backed out of this program, but I believe that God has something to say to someone here. So what comes to your mind when you think of motherhood? Please, I would like you to just type. You can do it on your phone if you're using your phone, or you can use, if you're using a computer, you can just open a browser on your computer. Just go to www.menti.com and then use the code 39180209. And just we're going to do that just for 3 minutes, and I'm going to set a timer for myself. So please, in the next 3 minutes, that means by 6:25, we are all done. Please go to www.menti.com and use the code 39180209 and answer the question, what comes to your mind when you think of motherhood? You can put multiple answers if you want. Okay. So I'm going to put the instruction in the chat room so that I can show our response as it comes up. Okay. Okay, Funke, please, you're going to help me read what's on the platform.
All right, ma'am. Okay, so the answers we have currently, okay, just a moment. Mothers are the manual to a child upbringing. Should I go on, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes, please.
All right.
Yes.
So we have sacrifice. Please. We have sacrifice. We have, okay, I think that's just the two we have now. The others are just quotes. Somebody restating the quotes that you have, that life does not come by manuals, it comes by mothers. It comes by mothers. The code again, ma'am. Please, the site and code again. So let me put that in the chat room. Let me enter let me type it for people. www.menti.com. So just a moment. Code. What's the code again? Ma, can you share it again, ma? Your slides. The code. I've entered mine, so I can't see it. Three nine one eight 0209.
Sacrifice. Sleepless nights. You're so right. Life channel. Nurture. Nurturer. Okay. Okay. So we want more more contributions, please. Hard work, a lot of hard work. And that's some of the reasons why we need to be kind to ourselves. A lot of us are not kind to ourselves. We are too hard on ourselves. Covering, protector. Some joy, a lot of joy actually. A mother is just a mother, yeah. When you think of a mom, it's just, how do you qualify that. Okay, so throughout the time that we're here, you will be able to put in your comments. Okay, truckload of patience, covering and protecting.
No, it's not, I can't believe he did this.
Model and guidance. Resilience. Reason that love is in bold is a lot of people have put that word in. When they think of a mother, that word comes. It's compassion, teacher, and that's just the truth. Okay, so we'll continue. You can still continue to put in your comments. Okay. I'll continue with my slide. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to share my slide and Menti.com is not letting me. Okay, so here's the activity that we were looking at. There's no way to be a perfect mother, but there are a million ways to be a good one. And I think for most of us that signed in, we signed in because we believe that we can be better than what we're doing, or we just want to get some insights. Sorry, I had to turn my video off because my network is fluctuating. It says there is no way to be a perfect mother, but there are a million ways to be a good one. This is Jill Churchill. So what are some of the questions? Because this is not a theory session or anything like that. Just like the title said, questions mom asks. So these are really about questions that someone said, how can I replenish myself and take adequate rest so that I can model grace, patience, kindness, and peace in my home? You know, the truth really is, if you are not in your best, or if you're not in a good place, you're not going to be able to do all of those fantastic things that we have written and we have said about what mothers are able to do. So the question, how can I replenish myself? I would like to say to you, you need to learn to take time out. You need to have friends that you can talk to. Not friends to do pity party with. It's something that a lot of women do. I remember a mother coming to talk to me about some things that were happening at home, and she was saying a lot of things, and I listened to her. The word was so strong in my spirit, pity party. And I said to her, I said, Madam, what you're saying is hard, it's tough. What you're going through is tough. But can I just tell you, I'm not going to sit here and have a pity party with you. Because at the end of the day, you have work to do. You have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your children. You have to take care of the situation that you have. And so the first part is to tell yourself, you know what? I'm not going to sit around with anybody who will be looking at me and say, hey, yeah, whoa, my husband should do that. He knows self. He knows what will happen. When you're talking solution, you don't need anybody to tell you they'll take off someone else's head because of whatever it is that is going on. So you must learn to replenish by having that quiet time. Even if it's 10 minutes in the morning before your children wake up, before your husband wakes up, have that quiet time. Or before you go to bed, when everyone has gone to bed, go into yourself and reflect and recharge. Have time to pray. As a mother, you have to pray. You have to learn to fellowship with God, your maker. You have to take rest. Okay? You have to learn to, you know what? Put your legs up. Let people take care of you. You have to learn to ask your husbands for help. I found out that a lot of women don't ask their husbands for help. And they just go around moaning, can't you see that I need help? The truth of the matter is, a lot of our men were not brought up to actually see that they need to help. Think about, I don't know, many people in my generation, that's how you cleaned the house, you took care of everything, you cooked, you washed, you did all that the boys did were wash the cars and maybe, go and fetch water, and then you go and sweat it out in the kitchen. And sometimes you still have to go fetch water. You clean up the house. And then suddenly you get married and you think your husband that was brought up to not know how to help will suddenly become the most helpful man on the face of the earth. So you're not asking for help. I learned early in my marriage to ask for help because I got married, and the next thing I was pregnant. I didn't have a help, and my husband, I eventually had to stop work. My husband would come back from work and say, oh, don't worry, I'll wash the clothes, eh? And 3 days, the clothes will be soaked and not washed. And I'll just vex, I'll go and wash them. And then he will come back from work. Instead of him to just say, oh, thank you, you washed the clothes, he will say, why did you wash the clothes? I said I was going to wash them. And then I'll get upset, And then after some time, I had to advise myself, when they calm down, why are you vexing? So I learned to ask. I learned to say, darling, when you're coming back from work, please, can you help me pick up A, B, C, D, E? And then, it got to the point where my husband will tell me, maybe he will go to the market and he will tell me, I'm the only I'm the only man where they are grinding pepper. Now, wow. I say, that's why I'll marry you again and again and again, and we laughed. Well, it wasn't always like that. So mothers, learn to ask for help. Okay, if you're a single mom, there are people you can ask for help that can look after your children. There are safe places that you have, family members or friends that can be a safe place for you and for your children, and they can look after your children where you take a breath and just breathe out and rest. Okay, because if you do not take that adequate rest and refresh yourself, you will not be able to model grace. You'll be snapping. You will not be kind to your children. And, a lot of times we say, oh, you need to be kind, and we're not modeling kindness. We're harsh to our children. We speak harshly to them. We are not patient. And so there's tension all the time. So I think I'm taking a bit of time to answer this question because I think it's very crucial, it's very important that we learn to rest so that we'll be able to provide that safe place for our own children. Okay, so the second question is, how can I authentically speak with my kids? Am I building a bridge of trust and security through my honesty and openness with them? So the first thing I'll say is, the second part of the question is actually the more important part. Am I building a bridge of trust and security through my honesty and openness with them? How can I authentically speak with my kids? You will not always agree, especially when they become teenagers and young adults. They'll have their opinion, they'll have it might look like they want to rebel and things, but how are you building a bridge of trust? So my daughter called me recently and said to me, she's doing her A-levels, and I'm happy she's not here because she will say, you're using me to give examples to your women, eh? So she called me and said to me that, there's this program that they do in school, do something that you've never done before to try and see, gauge whatever. I patiently listened and she explained everything. And so she said to me, she wants to get some piercings. And I said to her, okay, so why do you want to get some piercings? She said, she has told me now, she just wants to even see how people will react to her. Would they think she's now suddenly a bad girl, or just because simply she's got some piercings? I said to her, those things don't really matter what people think about you. The most important thing is, first, what God thinks about you. Second, what you think about yourself. I said to her, this is what I think. And we had this very long and non-threatening conversation about, why do you want to do this? And how is that going to be helpful? When you change your mind that you no longer want the piercing, what happens? And things like that. Have you explored options with just pin-ups instead of actually really piercing? Because, so when we finished, and she said to me, she was going for a meeting. And I said to her, thank you for telling me this, okay? This is what I suggest, and I'm not in any way insisting on that, but here's what I'll suggest: this, that, and that. And then she sent me a message and said to me, thank you, mommy. I'm going to, as you have said, I'm going to pray about this, actually just pray about this and ask God, what do you think about this? And I'm going to give it another 6 months to actually see, is this a fad? Is this something I really, really want to do? And stuff like that. And then he said to me, thank you for making it possible for me to actually have these conversations with you. And so when I got this question, I thought, I think I'm trying to build a bridge of trust. And how do you build a bridge of trust? By admitting when you do wrong yourself, by admitting when you're too harsh in your judgment, by telling your kids you're sorry, by speaking authentically with them, by letting them know, your words were too harsh and I felt hurt as well. I'm your mom, but I was hurt. And even the younger ones, by speaking to them like they actually understand you, because they do. Okay, let me not stay too long on this question. Then the third one, how can I ensure that my child is not influenced by other people more than me? Please, if you have any question or reactions as we go along through these questions, please, you can just put them in the chat room. Funke is going to help me to make sure that we cover every point. If you feel you have an answer to any of these questions, please put your answer there as well. We will read it out to everyone and it's going to help everyone. Okay, if you have a comment based on what I'm saying or what I have said, also put it up there, okay, in the chat room. So please, we really want this to be interactive. Okay, how can I ensure that my child is not influenced by other people more than me? I love this question in the sense that this mom knows that the child will be influenced by other people, but she's asking, how can I ensure that my child is not more influenced by other people than I am? That you have a Proverbs 31 king that will remember the things that you said to him or to her. You see, I grew up hearing from my mom, not all fashion is fashionable. And I went to university and that was like my mantra. I'll just see some things, some people are wearing certain things. I'll just say not all fashion is fashionable. It was just something that I just found I was so totally influenced by my mom more than any other person I can think of in life. So I was growing up, I wanted to be like her, to the extent that I will kneel down and say, God, if I can't be as good as my mom, please, sorry, if I can't be a better mom than my mom, is to me, please let me just be as good. I was so totally influenced by her. I don't even think she knows how much she influenced me. And this is funny, especially because we fought a lot, I was very opinionated and I'll say my mind. And I'll tell my mom, I know this is what you will do because you will not listen to me and you will think this way, But my mom will tell me will make some comments. Some of those comments will make me want to laugh and I'll refuse to laugh because I just want her to know that I am very serious, And so, but I found that in the way she brought me up, and I'll say I wasn't exactly an easy child to bring up because I was very stubborn, I was very opinionated, I was very, I loved my own company. So I didn't exactly like go out everywhere, do everything. I would rather bury myself inside a book, or whether it's romance as a teenager or horror and all of that. But I'll hear that my mom's quiet voice saying to me, you frown too much. Why do you frown like that? And she will not say it, she will tell me, you're such a beautiful girl, but you were just frowning. And then she will make a comment that will make me want to laugh and I'll refuse to laugh. But I'll remember all of those things. So moms, I want you to know that you have such a huge influence on your child more than you know. So even when they are forming strong head, don't want to hear, especially when they get to those puberty, pre-teenage years and teenage years and young adults. Continue doing what it is you're doing. Speak words with patience. Speak what you want to see, not what you're seeing. That is one sure way to influence your child more than anyone else. Say what you want. Don't say, you're not studying for this exam, or you will fail, eh? You, this boy, you will fail this exam. Say, you know you're going to smash this exam, so you have to study. Go and read, because you're going to do well. You have said the same thing in two different ways, but one, in the mind of that child, is going to be ringing, I will fail this exam. I already know I'll fail it, and my mommy will shout. In the other one, what is ringing there is, I will pass this exam and I'm going to do really well. And because of that, I will read. Okay, so what do you want to achieve? That is what you want to say to your child. That is how you want to talk to your child. That is what you want your child to hear. Like my mom, not all fashion is fashionable. It takes more muscles to frown than to smile. And so these days, when people comment about how I'm always smiling, in my mind, I say, I should bring my mom for all of you to thank her, So that's one of the ways. Please, I would like for you to ask your questions if you still have other questions that you want to ask, or if you will want to respond to what I'm saying, please feel free to do so. Okay. So yes, so please say what you want to see, not what you're seeing. It can be so tempting to say what you're seeing, especially for those of us that have teenage children and young adults. Be consistent. Just keep saying what you want to see. You will surely see it, because the words that you speak they add life and they produce. Okay, if there's time, I'm going to maybe share 1 or 2 experiences in that direction. Okay, question 3. Question 4, sorry. How can I create family traditions? So I remember when my children were much younger. So I wake up in the morning and I want to wake them up so they can start preparing for school. So I'll go into their room and I'll go singing. And I had a song which I formed by myself, and I'll sing this song. And before then, waking up in the morning was such a big deal. This person is cranky, that person is cranky. And I had 4 children, age 0 to 5. And it was such a struggle. Getting ready in the morning because 2 children were of school age and, just getting them ready. It was such a struggle. And then one day, I just thought, we can do this better. So I also have something to look forward to in the morning. And then suddenly I woke up, I went to their room and I started singing. Wake up and shine, it's a brand new day. Wake up and shine, God has given you life. Wake up and shine, it's a good day. Give me your heart. And then, it was as if, who's that? What song is that? And I did that the first day, the second day, the third day, I think I eventually stopped. I don't remember when I stopped. Maybe when I got stressed and refused to take some time. What I'm saying to you now, take time to refresh and actually know that I need to put my feet up for someone to just massage it a bit and give me breakfast in bed, that kind of thing. And then recently, my daughter reminded, she said, Mom, you remember when you used to wake us up with this song? So how can I create family traditions? It's as simple as just starting something. It's as simple as, it's someone's birthday, you call as a family and you sing for the person. It's as simple as, if your children are older, you can actually have this as a discussion. So what family tradition would you want us to have? Maybe decorate Christmas tree, maybe bake around Christmas, maybe just sit down some days, just sit down outside and just gist. What family traditions do you want to create? Maybe just, have meetings once a month and just talk about nothing serious. So they can just remember. So when they remember family times, it's fun. They have something to remember. And I believe my mom did, it wasn't something that she deliberately created, but I still remember up till now, when we go home from school, we were in boarding school, or, teenagers, secondary school, when we go home, every time we get home and it's a holiday, the very next day, her friend that lived just nearby would come to visit. Why? Because she heard our voices through the night, laughing and gisting. Create time. Let everything not be, who did this? Who did that? Why did you do this? What is that? Your children don't even know that you can be happy and that it is okay to be happy. Create those family times. Just sit down, gist, switch off. In this age is even harder. Let everybody switch off their devices. So they begin to enjoy spending that time with you and with one another without the interference of any device. Okay, so creating a family tradition is just as easy as whatever your mind leads you to. Okay, your creativity, your innovation. You know, these days we talk so much about all these things. It is as simple as just sitting down and saying, I would like this. When it's someone's birthday, write them a note and put on under their pillow. Let them wake up and see it. You know, one of the things my daughter said she cried about was because first time she left home for school, I wrote her a letter, a full page, sprayed perfume in it, put it in an envelope, and hid it in her box. She didn't see it until she got home, and she was bawling. It wasn't just crying. You know, the things I wrote, you know, all of that. So these things create memories, and you don't have to wait until they are teenagers. You can start from when they are little. Okay, you're cooking in the kitchen, you know it's going to double your cooking time, but tell your little child to come and help mommy in the kitchen. So they're handing over something for you to do, and they're sitting on a little chair and they're watching mommy do things. Create time, create family traditions. You can't go wrong with any of those. Okay. This is becoming a lot more difficult to handle. How do you manage teachers' meetings and school functions? I remember a child saying to me some day ago, we were having inter-house sports, and I said to him, Ayo, are you ready? He said, I said, why are you sounding like that? He said, nobody's going to see me. I said, but I see your mom is here. He said, but look at her, she's on her laptop. She's going to walk throughout. She's not even going to know when I do my race. I said, Ayo, can I say something to you? Your mom will see you today. I had to go over to the mom. I said, Ma, you're here for Ayo today. He wants you to see him dust everybody. He wants to do it for you. You know, this woman closed her laptop and put it away. Moms, is reality. You're working. The money you're making pays the bill. And we can't say don't work. But you see this meeting with teachers, school functions, if you don't show up, even the teachers begin to care that you don't care, begin to believe that you don't care. If you don't attend school functions, the children just, you know, they'll just be acting out and behaving as if they don't care, simply because they're hurting inside. So how do you manage teachers' meetings and school functions? If you can't come for a PTA or for an open day, please, you can schedule time to meet with your teachers, your children's teachers, or with your child's teacher. Please don't miss these things. Engage with your teachers. Hear what they are saying about you. And the truth also is teachers are human beings. When they put a face to you, they relate with your children better as well, because it's a partnership. You can't partner with someone you're not seeing or someone you're not feeling. School functions, you might not be able to attend all, but try. There's going to be 4 functions in school. Attend to, and make sure you come early and see your child perform. Make sure you give your child a hug. Make sure, show some affection. Let them not just get a rebuke when they do something wrong. When they do something right, let them get your attention. Okay. Even when there's so many complaints coming in from their teachers, find out, don't kill your child. Don't kill your child. Sometimes they're just acting out because they're also frustrated as children. There's a lot of pressure on children these days. I need to understand, please. So, excuse me, please. So, you have to find a way to manage that. Okay. So I'm not seeing anything in the chat room. Is either you agree completely with everything I'm saying, or I'm not making a lot of sense. And so please, I would like to see some more engagement in what we're doing. And I'm going to take question 5 and then see and take some questions from the floor, please. I know that some people didn't send in their questions, and some people hope to ask questions when they get here. They don't know how this is going to be, so when they get here, they will ask questions. So question 5, it says, when you are in a loveless marriage, how do you keep going to let what you're going through not affect the kids? This is a tough one. And I'm not even going to pretend that, oh, no. Your marriage should not affect what your relationship with it. You know, the way we are. You know, is one of the things. I don't know how many of us watched that video about the difference between men and women, how a man has different compartments in his brain, but the woman's brain is all wired up, everything is together. If they are happy, they are happy. If they are sad, it affects everything. They snap at the children, they snap at the husband, they snap. In short, everything just goes wrong. Okay, so I can't even pretend that if you find yourself in a marriage where your spouse, or whether it is real or imagined, and your spouse does not love you, it's hard. But can I also tell you a story that a woman shared with me? She said to me, Mrs. Etta, my marriage was, I couldn't even call it a marriage. He said, but I've told my daughter, you must not take rubbish from any man. So I was listening to her. He said, I got married very early. So if you see, her daughter looks like her younger sister. He said, I got married very early. It was horrible. But I've told my daughter, don't take any rubbish from any man. I said, why didn't you leave? And she said to me, she stayed because of her children. She wanted to bring them up in a certain way. She didn't want to leave and then have another woman come in to make them slaves of her and stuff like that. So I said to her, but I'm curious, why are you now advising your child to do the opposite of what you did? Is that, I'm just so confused. And she said to me, well, Miss Etta, well, time has changed. Time has changed. You see, the truth of the matter is, when you're in this kind of situation, it is the children that suffer the most. They withdraw in school. You think they don't know what is going on. They are observing you. They are seeing everything. And because we are very emotional people, sometimes we talk to the children more than we should. We say things we shouldn't say to them. You see what your dad is doing? You see how he's behaving? You see what is it? He has not even bought for 2 years now. My birthday, doesn't even know whether I'm having birthday or not. He doesn't know. Why? Please, don't overburden those children. They are children. You can get a counselor. But most importantly, please pray. Okay? Pray. Take time out for yourself. Talk to somebody, not your child. Don't pour things on your child or your children. It is very unfair for them. And also look inwards. Ask yourself, was I happy before I got married? What changed? Why am I no longer happy? Will I want to spend time with myself? We need to also tell ourselves some hard truths. Ask a friend. Ask a family member. Go for counsel. It's okay to go for counsel. It's okay to talk to somebody. You might think what you're going through is so... By the time you talk to somebody, oh, wow, okay. I thought I'm the only one. So please, don't die in silence. And most importantly, remember that whatever it is that is going on, it is not the children's fault. You owe it to them and to yourself to be happy. Because only when you are in a good state of mind that you will play your role as a mom. And tomorrow, when you look at your children, you'll be happy for the sacrifice. Motherhood is such a huge sacrifice. So we can't even have anything shortchanging the sacrifices that you're making. Okay, I'm hoping that you're keeping your comments. I'm not sure that I answered this question right. So please, if you have an answer to this mom, please, maybe from experience or something you have seen or something that you know about, or, please share it so that another sister can benefit. Okay, so this is interesting. How do you keep from spoiling your child? This is very interesting. I just saw this quote by Nadia Boulanger, and he said, loving children doesn't mean giving in to his whims. To love him is to bring out the best in him, to teach him to love what is difficult. I mean, him or her. How do you keep from spoiling your child? To say no is hard, but it is from you saying no that your child will learn to say no. So just see it that the goal, this is the goal you have in mind. There are some times that you discipline a child and it is not easy. There's a way the Bible puts it. It said, there's no discipline at the time is coming that is pleasant, but it's achieving life reward. It's achieving something eternal in the child. So, and I remember saying I was sharing with a friend of mine, and I said, I was reading this part of it's entitled somewhere where it says older women should teach younger women how to love their husbands and their children. And I had a time to, in short, is a huge, complete teaching came out of it. Like I can write a book on that. And I'm thinking, man, if it's easy for you as a woman to love your husband, the Bible will not say older women should teach younger women how to love their husbands and their children. It's not automatic. It's the easy way out. Giving in to children is easy. Loving them is hard. It is hard to say, switch off that TV, go and finish your assignment, show me your assignment before the TV comes back on. It is hard because when they're watching the TV, you have peace of mind. You will not be saying, hey, yes, you will not be settling quarrel. Everybody sitting down quietly watching TV. One of the things I also tried to do when my children were very little was watch TV with them. So there were programs that we just didn't watch. Because right in your presence, in your living room, some foreigner somewhere is feeding your child poison and they're taking it in. We are not even talking about that spoiling, but it is huge right now. The kind of things that are happening right under our nose from the internet, from the phone that we give to their children, and from the TV that we bought in the house. Because somehow we're not strong enough to say this TV will stay off every weekday. And these programs are not allowed in this house. Please, ma, your home is your protection, is a safe place. It's not everything everybody is watching that your child must watch. You owe it to them to protect them. How do you keep from spoiling your children? Have conversations, difficult conversations. These days, we must become we must have difficult conversations. Let me just put it that way. One of these, I told my children, I say, you know, if I grew up in your generation, somebody may have tried to convince me that I was gay because I came out after 2 boys and I was a boy in the girl shape. Even in those days where you're not even allowed to wear trousers, I wore shorts and trousers. I climbed trees with my brothers. I pursued them. They hit me, I hit back. In short, one of the days I was fighting with my brother. I was on the other side of the fence and we're throwing stones. And then suddenly he didn't throw any more stone. I was thinking, what's going on? He must be planning to surprise me. Next thing I saw the guy, blood was flowing from his forehead. So somebody would have tried to convince me. You need to have these conversations, moms. You can't leave it for somebody else. You can't be too shy. They already know too much. So what they know, you don't know half of it. Yesterday, I was talking to a young girl that came with the mom, and then I said, bombastic side eye. I said, mom, you know it. I said, you know, please know what is going on in their world, mothers. So there are a couple of other questions which I do not think that I'll be able to take tonight because I have a feeling that some people might still have to ask questions live, much more than what we have here. But before please hold to your questions. I'm going to call on Chika. Chika, are you here? Is Chika here now? Hello, Chika. I don't think she's here still. Okay, so I'm going to ask, okay, hello? Okay, Chika, if you're here, please send me a message.
I'm not sure she's here, ma'am.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, so Funke, do we have any comments in the chat room that you want to highlight?
Yes, there's a question, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, there are 2 questions now I've seen. One question, just a moment. So there's a question that says, how do you do some of these things without your partner doing the same with the children?
Sorry, let me get the question. It says, how do you do this without your partner doing the opposite? Okay, what you're trying not to do.
Yes, you know, when all those things that you're advising us to do, some of the tips you're giving us, okay, in trying to do it, but your partner is not doing the same thing, meaning that he's not maybe intentional as you are. Yeah, the mother is trying to do.
Okay, so I believe very much in communication. It's very key. We have to talk. Okay, we have to sort it out. Not all right. So
okay, so the person just gave you that, you know, so the example you gave, that what you want to see in the child.
Okay.
What you want to see in the child, you know, where you're speaking positively into the life of the child, but your partner is doing the opposite. That how do you deal with
So you have to have a meeting with your partner. You have to have a meeting with your partner. A lot of times. Okay, so let me give you an example. So someone bought a t-shirt for my son when he was about 6. So he had this t-shirt, very lovely t-shirt, and there was an inscription on it, and it says, when mom says no, ask dad. So out of curiosity, I said to my son, so when mom says no, you ask dad. So when you ask dad, what does dad say? He says, daddy. He will just say, have you asked your mom? What did she say? It's for you. You need to have that conversation, parents. Please have it with your partner. That what is our aim? Where are we going? Do we have the same aim? Because truly, we are coming from different backgrounds. We are coming from backgrounds where they slap you and you slap to wake you up every morning and insult you and say things that you'll be wondering that, you my parents, why are you saying this kind of thing to me, that, so you grew up and you were okay, in quotes, and so you don't see anything wrong with those things. Like, do you know how much my parents insulted me and beat me? Look at who I am today. What's the big deal? Times are changing. And doesn't mean something was done to you, it's okay. Or because you accepted it, it means it's okay. Everybody should accept it. So what I will advise is that you have a meeting. And if the meeting is, if there's somebody you respect, maybe you have an older couple that you respect that can mentor you, you can broach that topic with the person. Somebody that your partner listens to, broach that topic and say, so is there, is this something you can talk to me? What do you think about this before you even begin to report your husband or your wife? When a friend of mine saw this and said to me, please, can our husbands come for this meeting? We need our husbands. I said, well, I didn't think, maybe subsequent one, or we can have parents, questions that parents ask, but these were the things that were in my mind. Like, there were some things that growing up, as a young mom, I wished I could sit down with somebody and talk about these things. And I didn't really have many of those. And some things I had to figure out myself. Like, how do you have quiet time when your child is screaming and shouting and crying? How do you, recharge? Like I'm telling you to recharge. When you don't have a house help, you have to make sure the house is tidy. What do you do? I learned to pray on the go. I learned to pray as I'm cooking, I'm backing my child, I'm praying. I learned to just find a way to keep myself strong and happy and upbeat. I had to learn those things. So I felt like I would like for mothers to share these things, together and learn one for another. So I don't know I hope that answered the question.
I hope so too. So there's another question. Should I go to the next question, Ma?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, so just a moment. He says, how does one help teenage children listen and obey? I have to say the same thing several times, which then makes me express issues from the angle of its consequences. Did you get that, Ma?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it can be quite frustrating. But when I read somewhere a scientific review of an article, a psychological article about how the brain of your child is developing until they are 25, they are not fully developed. So sometimes they are not trying to be funny. They actually heard you but forgot, or they got distracted. Or I think what I tried very much to do was to remind myself about when my mom also complained of the same thing. They'll tell you one thing 100 times. They will tell you, don't do this, that's this thing that you will be doing. I try to remember that. But then it doesn't mean that you don't talk. You have to keep stressing it. You have to keep talking about it. When you have an opportunity, sit down with your child and have a heart-to-heart where there is no, your child is not thinking, I don't know why my mom is always shouting. Like, it doesn't even understand because it's not trying to be difficult. So it's for you to remember. If you just have that remembrance, my child is not trying to frustrate me. He actually doesn't understand or doesn't remember a lot, gets distracted easily. It will change the angle from which you're coming, even when you're correcting. And then you will begin to do some things. There were some things that my mom did that worked for me like magic. And when I did that for my children, it was the same result. And that was praise. As stubborn and as difficult as I was, if I did anything right, hey, you will think I was the best child on the block. My mom will praise me. My mom will dance. Hey, no, come and hug me, come and hug me. I'll be wondering. So when she leaves the house, guess what? Guess what I'll do? I'll enter her room. I will sweep it, dress the bed, I became a workaholic. So if your shouting has not worked all this while, try something else. Try praise. Take one thing that they have done right, because you will surely see one thing that they are doing right. Start from there. I promise you, you will see a change. But you too, mommy, you have to be consistent. So, okay. Okay. Sorry, have I lost you? Is anybody still hearing me?
Sorry, Ma, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
Just give me a moment. I'm trying to sort out my device.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so the next question, let me just quickly ask that. How do you build self-esteem in your child?
Okay. So, affirming. You have to affirm your child. It doesn't also mean that you don't say no to your child. You see, every child is different. If you have 6 children, you find that all 6 are different. You will find that some might not need so much, man, you are awesome. But you might find that there will be one that will want to hear it every day. So you study your children, but whether they are outgoing, they are introverted or whatever, praise works for everybody and uplifting words work for everybody. Let them know it's okay to say no, so that when they say no, and watch them say no to adults as well. Okay, I remember growing up, people come to my house and want to carry my children. And I've told my daughters especially, you don't sit on anybody's laps, especially a man. And I don't care if he's a family member. So uncle comes, carries my child, puts on, and my child gets down and say, come here, Joe. He said, I don't want you to carry me. I say, here, this child, come and sit down here, Joe. I said, but she just said she didn't want you to carry him. So you put word. You have to, stand by them, affirm them, and let them know it's okay to have your own voice. And because there's a thin line between arrogance and healthy self-esteem, you have to do that carefully. That you're not talking down on anybody, but nobody must talk down on you. You do not accept that. So, again, you have to pray over your children. You have to ask God for wisdom for each child, because what works for one child might not work for the other. So it's important that we do that. Okay. We said that we are going to close by 7:30 and it's 7:21. and I do not want to overshoot our time. I want to really be very respecting of the time that you have, please. So we will run quickly also through the other questions if you have some more.
Okay, so we just have one more question here.
Okay.
Should I read it now?
Yes, please.
How do you get your introverted child to open up to discuss personal matters with you? That's the final question here.
Okay, so this is a very interesting one. But I have found one thing from experience. I have found that a lot of children actually want to talk if they believe that you are actually interested and want to hear them. So I will suggest that you start early in that talk matter. From when they are younger, you sit down and so what happened in school today? So do you like any boy in your class? And then mommy, stop it, Joe. And they say, okay. Does anybody like you in your class? Mommy, now. You already know where it's going. You're laughing and you're, then you can tell your own story. Do you know that when I was in primary 6, there were these two boys that liked me, and I was just like, you're liking me on your own, that kind of. Whether you're making up that story or what, get interested. If your child sees that you're interested, they will open up. If they also see that you are not just looking for something to pick on, they will open up. If they also see that you actually, maybe just care, you actually just care and you want to know what is going on, they will also open up. So my point really with that is just tell yourself, I want to have a heart-to-heart conversation. But guess what? If this is the first time you're trying it, your child might rebuff you. They will just say, not today, I beg. After I've made all the mistakes I can make in this world, that's when you're coming to talk to me. Don't give up. Today is a good day to start. Whether your child is preteen, teenager, young adult, even an adult, there's still time to create a good relationship with your child. But it will start with you owning up the fact that I may have left some things to slide longer than I should have. When they do something, how do you correct, criticize? Are you presenting yourself like you're perfect? They know you are not. They see your faults more than you see it. So usually when something happens, I start from the point of guys, you know that you don't have a perfect mommy. And that's why I'm thankful that you people too are not perfect. So let us talk this as people who are not perfect. So getting your child to talk, to confide in you, it will take time. But you can't give up. You have to keep trying. You have to keep trying. And I tell you that at the end of the day, you will win. Okay. Okay, so there's a comment. Okay. Is there any more question? Okay.
So there's no more question, Ma?
Yes.
There's no more question here. Just comments, people saying, what you're saying is true.
Okay.
They're with you, you're making sense. Yeah. So it's just
okay. Okay. All right. So we are almost to the end of our time. Now let me take this question that I had actually reached out to the parent. I mean, we discussed this, but I thought it might benefit one or two people here. It says, how can I help my 5-year-old stop bedwetting? Now, as long as your child is not bedwetting due to some psychological or trauma issues, your child will stop in no time. Every child is different. Some children stop faster than others. And some, like when my son was, before he turned 2, I just want, this boy, you wear him diaper, nothing will happen through the night. Now, wow. Now, so just like that. And he was the only one of my children that was that fast in, So every child is different. You might need to form or help your child to say, once it's 6 o'clock, we are done with dinner. We are also done with drinking water. When your child goes to bed by 8 o'clock, take your child to wee first. When it is 10 o'clock, go and wake your child up and go. Something that my mom taught me. You go to the bathroom and you'll be doing, oh yeah, wee. And it works. So I don't know how that happens. The child will just wee. And then maybe around 1. So, just like we have said, when you think about motherhood, it's hard work. It's hard work. Okay, I had a child that came to live with me, but this one, he was even she was a teenager. And then I just found out, oh my goodness, this girl wets the bed. So I decided, I had a conversation with her. I knew she was embarrassed about that, But by the time she spent a term, just 1 term, she stopped weeing. Because I'll wake up, I'll go and wake her. I say, go and use the bathroom. She will go. I'll say, go, get up. I'll walk her to the bathroom. She will enter that. I say, make sure you use the bathroom. In 1 term. So because their body now gets up at that time when they want to wee. But gradually, they will stop. So one of the final word I want to leave with you is, as a mom, find time to pray over your children. Speak words to them, whether they are awake or they are sleeping. Don't say, he's a man now. Even my 18-year-old, soon to be 19-year-old that's in the house with me right now, taking a gap year, I'll go into his room when he's sleeping. I will speak words over him. I pray for all of them.
Hello.
Sorry, we can't hear her again. Has she gone off?
Okay, so that's what I was just trying to confirm, if it was my network or hers. I think it's a network.
Okay.
So please, let's just give her like a couple of minutes, and I'm sure she'll be back.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello, we missed you. Your network
Sorry. NEPA struck and my Wi-Fi went off.
Oh,
so
sorry.
I just connected to my mobile.
Thank you. You just bought my NEPA just bought my own line.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Yes, okay. So, so I was just saying, please, whether they are in the stomach, in short, before you
My
take
battery
care,
was going
that's
down
when
initially.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Please. Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay. So I was saying, right from before conception, begin to say what you want. When they are in the womb, lay your hands on them and speak the words you want. When you know, there are some things that people say about me and my first child, and I marvel because those were things I said. Those were things, you know, like I want to be able to communicate with this child. I want to be her friend. I want to be the first, you know, like if she's in trouble, she will find, it will be natural for her to reach out to me. She wouldn't think my mother will kill me. Even though in real life, those were things I say, what, you try nonsense, I'll kill you and wake you up. You can't try that, you know. My daughter went to a camp as a 10-year-old girl and came back home and said to me, Mommy, I met a girl that she said she has had sex. I said, huh? I pretended I was having a correct conversation with my 11-year-old, I'd be 10-year-old. And I said to her, oh, wow. So is he a boy or a man? I said, no, he's a girl. I said, I said, Mommy, I had to tell her, don't do that. Oh, God does not like it. I said, wow. Well, you tell me the story now. Is that how you just tell me? You know, when I reached out to my friend, I invited us to a camp, and it was a Christian camp. When I reached out to her, she said to me, hey, how did she tell you that? How did she tell you that? I said, I don't know. I'm just thanking God that she did. So say what you want. And it is not late to start now. Because the words that you speak, they are life. Boy, girl, when they are lying down and they are sleeping, go into their rooms, lay hands on them, speak God's words over them, prophesy unto them. Tell them this is who you are. When you're talking to them, say to them, this is who you are. You are a champion. You are a star. This is, what is your name? What does God say about you? Speak to them. Pray for them. Pray over them. Whether they hear or you think they hear or not, continue. I can tell you from experience, they hear you. And please, mommies, please. You see, this is good to be strict too. I believe that. But some of our strictness is just nonsense because your child is just waiting to get out of the house. One of my students said to me, we're just having a conversation. Said to me, oh, I said, oh, so do you have a boyfriend? He said, oh, ma, please, I'm a small girl. I said, sorry, you. Know the way you say all of those things. And then, so when do you want to have a boyfriend? You see that nobody has asked. He said, actually, there's a boy in my church that I like, but well, he didn't ask me. I said, so if he asked, you would have said yes, even though you're a small girl. Said, well, I'll just say yes, but I'll tell him that I cannot be his full girlfriend yet. I said, so there's full and there's half. You know, we're just having this conversation and just laughing our heads off. And by the time we finished, said to me, when I'm 13, that's when I'll have a boyfriend. I said, how old are you now? She said, oh no, I said, when are you going to be 13? She said she'll be 13 in August, and that was June. And I said, oh, wow. Yeah, age of independence is coming, man. You'll soon be 13. And, you know, she laughed, giggled like this. And I said, so have you told your mom this wonderful news? She said, no, I can't do that. I said, but you just told me. He said, but that's you. It's easy to talk to you. Mommies, if it's not easy to talk to your child, I don't know what do you, please, ma, please, mommies, and if there's a dad here, please, let us be coming down. You will do more wonders on your knees, speaking over your children than all that. If I see you talk to that boy again, that's when they will be talking to the boy every day, and you will not know what is going on. Please. Okay, so thank you so much. I'm really honored that you have taken this time to come. I know Sundays are really tough days, but one of the reasons why I picked this day was I thought, okay, I'm doing this because it's my birthday month and I want to give out something, and I don't that kind of thing. So that's why, even though it's a Sunday evening where you will be chilling with your family, we're having this meeting. I'm so thankful that you could come. I do not take this for granted. And I pray that God will bless you all. I pray that God will bless your children. And I pray that for the ones that are expecting their children, and not many days from now, that God will equip you with everything you need to be the mom that your child needs. I know that God wants to raise mothers. He wants to raise mothers that will be there. These children need us. There's so many things coming at them. There are so many things. Today is transgender, tomorrow is gay, tomorrow is another one, tomorrow is this one, tomorrow is this lifestyle, tomorrow is that lifestyle. They need a safe place. And God has equipped you and given you everything that you need to be that safe place for your child. And I pray that God, in his power, in his might, in his wisdom, will do it for you and for your family, for your children. And you will not have any reason to regret over any single child of yours. Thank you all so much for coming. And Funke, it's over to you so that you will close us.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you everybody for joining in. Can you just put in the chat box briefly what your take home is? What you took out from this session today? Can somebody can you drop it in the chat box for us, please? Let's just see one or two things as you dropped out. How has the session been for you? It's always good to recap whenever we take a session, just to know what we picked out. Does anybody want to drop it? All right, so let me check. Yes, so thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma. Yes, Mama has shared so much. So let's just see one thing you took out from the session. It could be one or two. It will just be nice so that it sits inside of you. I mean, it's something that you can also go back home to share. Thank you so much, Buki. You say speaking what you want to see rather than the negative. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Any other person, just before we shut down tonight? Any other person? Evelyn says to be patient with them. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yes, I love that. Any other person? Victoria says there's so much we can do on our knees. Yes, that is so, so important. Praying for them, praying over them when they are sleeping, praying with them when they are even awake is so important. There is nothing God cannot do. Lucaria says that was awesome. We have to be friendly with them. Amazing. Adefolake Adeyemi says, deal with them with love and empathy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Powerful. Bisola says, learn never to stop praying for my children. Also to always talk to them and be their friend. Amazing. Oge says, King Lemuel's mother prepared him for life. Fantastic. Yes, that was the first time I was saying that as well. Mama opened our eyes to see that it was the mother. I also love the first quote she says, children don't come with manuals, they come with a mother. That was memorable for me as well. Okay, so Chiamaka says, thank you, Ma. It was so insightful. And I learned how to create some rest time for myself and let my children be free with me. Very good, very important. So Tolulope says to be affirmative with my children. Loretta says praise and uplifting work for children in building their self-esteem, no matter their personality traits. Amazing nudges. Thank you so much for sharing. Galaxy A12 says we should also be free with our children. We shouldn't be harsh with them. Can you have the record? Can they have the recording, Ma? Is the recording available?
Yes,
Fantastic.
definitely. So, yeah.
Keria says we can talk to them. Okay, go ahead, Ma.
Okay, so we'll put the recording in the chat room, and then we'll just leave the chat room open for a week or so people can just access it before we close the room.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Okay, so finally, Keria says we can talk to them even while they are still in the womb. This can help them in life. Amazing. You're such wonderful mothers. Thank you so much for joining in. I know some said they couldn't hear, but we're going to put the recording in the chat room, and then you're going to have it there. Also ensure that you share the learnings that you have received tonight with another mother, and so that it can stay with you. Those are key ways of learning it and holding yourself accountable to what you've heard. Also go into the chat room that we have there, and let's just share some of these things that we've written out. Let's just put it in the chat room. Oh, this is what I learned tonight. Okay. Yeah. So thank you very much, Mama, for sharing with us. I'm sure there's going to still be another session. I'm going to put you up on it. So we're going to have another session. Who is with me on this? Okay, make it okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for that suggestion. Make it a YouTube video. Who is with me on this? Mama is over 50. I mean, there's a lot she can share with us. You know, I know she's not going to do pity party, but she can be there's a lot to glean in from her. All right. So thank you, everybody. Good night. See you in the chat room.
Good night. A quick shout out to Christy. Today is her birthday and she is here. Christy, happy birthday.
Christy, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you. Yes, Mommy. Mama, you can see monthly affair. Can you see? Somebody has put it there, so I'm on your case.
Oh my. Okay, let's see.
All right, so we can unmute.
Thank you.
I appreciate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Victoria. I see you.
Everybody, you can unmute. You can say your bye-byes and take your leave.
Mrs. Iyasele, so good to have you all here. And I can see some of the names.
Ma. Thank you, Ma. You're amazing. God bless you. God bless you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ma.
So
thank
grateful,
you so much. Thank you for your time today. Thank you. God bless you. Vicky.
Looking forward to the recording.
Yes, definitely so.
God bless you, Ma. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Happy birthday in advance.
Thank you. Thank you, Evelyn.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you, Emmy.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you, Chiamaka, for coming.
Thank you, Mama.
Mom.
This is.
Thank you, Sheyi. Tolu.
Thank you, Ma.